Thank you for watching Sunday Kickoff. I am Fidel Barraza. Alongside with me today, Tarion Rogers and Kendall Whitley. How are you guys doing?
Doing great, bro. How you doing?
Good, man. Good.
Everything good. Week 13 it has arrived. So let's get to some of the games. But first, let's recap Thursday night football action. As the Cowboys beat the Saints 27-17. In this game, I mean, it really wasn't a game, to be honest with you. I mean, they did keep it close more in the first half. But then Taysom Hill had a finger injury. And it looks like he's probably going to be out for the rest of the season, and kind of just went downhill from there.
Yeah.
If I learned anything, from the Saints' point of view, they got to get a quarterback going forward. It doesn't look like a Sean Payton offense anymore. Like their defense is legit, top-notch defense, but the offense just hasn't, it just doesn't look like a Sean Payton offense, So I think that they're going to be in a huge market for a quarterback next year. You mentioned it, Taysom Hill going down, and it's heartbreaking because you want to see if he's your guy. You gave him all that money. We don't know what he is, why he earns all that money, but we know he got the money. So you kind of wanted to see what he was as a quarterback, and they're not able to see anything further because of that injury. So we're in trouble in Saint Land, man, for sure.
Yeah, I think it was bad because Saints. I think the Saints could have won the game. Cowboys, they weren't pretty. The defense, both that defense, I think the Saints could have won the game. Cowboys made a few plays. CeeDee Lamb had a few nice catches. Murray Cooper, Gallup, but it wasn't overall for Dallas. It wasn't a pretty game. Dak threw an interception to end the game. They couldn't get the running game. Take out one long run from Tony Pollard. The Cowboys really didn't do much. So the Saints, they definitely. I think they're a quarterback away. They definitely got some work to do in the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're dealing with a lot of injuries, and that's hard to overcome. I mean, especially at the quarterback position. But Alvin Kamara didn't play as well. They were playing well in the first half against Cowboys. I mean, not that the Cowboys, blew them out. I mean, there was a late score towards the end of the game. I believe it was a pick six? Yeah, I believe.
With the Cowboys first touchdown or the Saints first touchdown?
No, the Saints. Oh, I mean, I'm sorry, the Cowboys.
They did have a pick six, but I don't know if that was
the score really doesn't.
It wasn't pick six by defensive lineman. It wasn't pick six by defense.
Okay, yeah.
And then Taysom, I believe, threw 5 interceptions, if not 4.
4
interceptions,
yeah.
Almost 5 actually. There was a dropped. So I mean, this is the longest losing streak for the Saints since 2008. So that kind of tells you something. And obviously, Sean Payton is not a coach that is used to coaching teams that lose multiple games in a row.
Facts. Life is different without Drew Brees, and they're kind of noticing that. But I mean, I don't want to speculate or anything like that. But I've been hearing a lot of Russell Wilson rumors there. That could be a possible matchup preparing next year. We'll have to see. Season obviously isn't over yet, but man, like it kind of sucks to be, in St. Land right now without, Drew Brees or without, a contingency plan, at quarterback, and that's why it's so important to kind of plan for that future.
Yeah, so we'll see how the Saints finish off the season. And the Cowboys, they got a must-needed win in New Orleans. All right, let's go around with the injury reports. Expected to play Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Brandon Cooks, Odell Beckham Jr., Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Josh Jacobs, Deshaun Jackson. Game time decisions, Darrell Henderson, James Robinson, and likely out, Jalen Hurts, David Johnson, Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard. So those are your injury reports for Week 13. All right, Tarion, let's hear some fantasy football advice.
Absolutely. So immediately what kind of jumped out at me when you read the injury report was Jalen Hurts. He's been a big fantasy football quarterback for a lot of people, in PPR formats. He gets you about double-digit points each and every week. There's a lot of people out there who also have Aaron Rodgers. He won't be playing today because of the bye week. So I'm looking at quarterbacks. What are some of the best quarterbacks that are available, today on the waiver wire? A guy that I'm kind of liking, shout out to Alabama a little bit, another Alabama guy. Jalen Hurts is gone. A guy that, Jalen Hurts kind of replaced a couple years ago in the game against Georgia, Tua Tagovailoa. I like Tua a lot, this week. Tua, his Dolphins are coming in kind of hot. They've won. They're the winner of 3 straight.
Four straight, I believe.
4 straight, actually. Okay, so he scored double-digit points in all 4 of those games. It wasn't high double-digit, but it was double-digit. But the reason why I like him specifically today is they play the Giants, and the Giants will be starting to draft at quarterback today. And when I say draft, Mike Glennon is a human draft. Man is tall. He doesn't see over the line of scrimmage very well, and he's slow. So I'm seeing field position being, in Tua's favor. So I think that he'll be able to execute a couple of touchdowns, because of his defense. So if you're looking for a streaming defense, look no further than the Miami defense as well, in that game, because again, the Giants defense wasn't very good with their starting quarterback, Daniel Jones, and I don't think they're going to be very good with Mike Glennon. So if you're looking for some streaming options, look for some Dolphins players, the Tuas of the world. Jalen Waddell had a big week. I don't know if he'll be available, but, just if you could find some Dolphin players, I think that the Dolphins will have a pretty good week on the Giants team. That's not very good. Some other streaming options today for me are the Colts. If Carson Wentz is available, he's a guy that I like a lot. He's been available in some of my leagues. I was able to pick him up because I'm an Aaron Rodgers guy and I have him in a few of my teams. I was able to pick up Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz today has the Houston Texans. If you guys are looking for some streaming defense too, we know that the Houston Texans aren't a very good offense, so their defense should have a strong outpouring, today. Carson Wentz should do some things, so if you see some Colts available, I think the Colts will have a pretty good outing, and it's something they're in a must-win territory after losing, a heartbreaking loss last week to the Bucks. Also tight end positions, I know tight end positions in fantasy football has always been tough and it's always hard. Last week, George Kittle, if you were a George Kittle owner, you want to pull your hair out because George Kittle didn't really do much of anything. Darren Waller owners, injuries. So I'm looking at that game, the Raiders and Washington football team. There's two very good tight ends, that are going to be playing in today's game. For Darren Waller owners, easy, guy that you could replace him with is Foster Moreau. When Foster Moreau played last time that Darren Waller didn't play, he had 6 receptions, 60 yards, 1 touchdown. The last Raiders home game, he scored a touchdown against the Bengals. So he's a guy that when Darren Waller isn't in the lineup, the Raiders actually look for. So he's a guy that I feel like can get in the end zone. Another guy I feel like in that game is Logan Thomas. I feel like, tight end position, he's a guy that could be available because he's basically just coming off of IR. He was a guy you drafted high in fantasy, but you might have dropped him because of, his IR situation. But, he's a guy that Heineke is going to be looking for a lot, especially, with JD McKissick going down. So he could get a lot of his targets shares inside the end zone. And Raiders don't guard tight ends very well. They never have. They do allow 30 points per game. Unfortunately, the Raiders defense is a lot better, but they still are letting up points. So Logan Thomas is a guy I feel like that can benefit. So those are some of my guys today, and some of the matchups I'm looking at.
All right, thank you for that. All right, so let's go through some of these games and pick them. So one game that kind of stands out to me is the Arizona Cardinals game. So obviously Kyler Murray coming back from injury and also DeAndre Hopkins. Right now the Arizona Cardinals are 7.5-point favorites. Under/over is 42 points or 42.5, sorry. And there is going to be some bad weather today in Chicago. What do you guys think?
I'm going to go with the Cardinals by 10. So definitely they're with the Cardinals.
Is Justin Fields playing?
No,
I don't think so.
Ooh, yeah. Definitely going Cardinals. And there you go, another streaming defense. If Cardinals is available, pick them up in fantasy football because Andy Dalton is another draft. But I'm definitely going Cardinals. Probably 14. Browns, Bears offense isn't really that good, and Cardinals are one of the best teams in the NFL. So Cardinals.
Yeah, the other game that stands out is the Sunday Night Football game. Denver visiting Kansas City. Right now, Kansas City is favored by 8.5 points. Under/over is 46.5.
Yeah. In that game, I'm looking at Javonte Williams. Melvin Gordon isn't going to play. I've seen injury reports that he's out. Javonte Williams is a guy that quietly leads the NFL in broken tackles. So yards after the run. The Chiefs hasn't been very good at stopping the run. So in order for Denver to be successful, they're going to have to control the time of possession and run the ball. If they can with Javonte Williams, he's a guy that I can see having a breakout game. He's been having really good games, but the Broncos haven't really featured him a lot, but he's been successful. So if the Broncos can run the ball, I do think that this is a game they can end up winning by 3, but it just depends. I do have the Chiefs winning, but I feel like the best strategy for Denver to win is run the ball.
I'm gonna go with Kansas City, but this game is gonna be a close one. I'm gonna go 27-24 Kansas City.
All right. LA Chargers visiting the Cincinnati Bengals. Right now, the Bengals are 3-point favorites. Under over is 50.
Ooh, this is a close one. I know they played last year in the opener, but Herbert wasn't starting then. It was Tyrod Taylor versus Justin Burrow. I'm gonna go with the Bengals in the close because the Chargers are. This is in Cincinnati, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Chargers in the close one. I'm gonna go 31-28. Last second field goal.
Yeah. Chargers are another team that can't stop the run. I think this is a big Joe Mixon game. So I think it's going to be another team that you really can't pinpoint. They should be good, but they're not very good. But I'm going to go Bengals. High scoring game, around the same, about 3.
We have the Baltimore Ravens visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers, and obviously reports came out yesterday that Big Ben Roethlisberger is expected to retire after the season. Right now, the Baltimore Ravens, which they don't look that great last week against the Browns, are 4-point favorites. Under over 44 points.
I'm gonna go with the Steelers. This is a divisional game. It's an upset. Steelers played. They was embarrassed last week to another division rival in Cincinnati. I'm going with the Steelers this week in a close one. Give me 24-17 Pittsburgh.
Yeah, this is a must-win for the Steelers. I think that the Ravens, they want to win because they're the division rivals. But, with the reports that Ben, do they win it for Ben or do they just like Ben by, Kenny Pickett time, So I still want to say Ravens. I think Ravens get this. I think Justin Tucker hits a long field goal and gets the Steelers out of here.
The Steelers need to win this game. If they want to stay in the playoff race, because they had a really bad loss last week. They had a heartbreaking loss the week before against the Chargers. So, I'll take Pittsburgh with the points. And then, let's see. So, a couple more games. So, Jacksonville visiting the LA Rams. Right now, the Rams are 13-point favorites. Rams have been struggling, to say the least.
Give me the Rams big.
The Rams big.
Now let's remember last year they did lose to a bad team at home, and at that point it was the New York Jets. So do you guys think the Rams cover the spread? And Uncle Rico's bad. Oh no, not Uncle Rico. Sorry, I'm thinking about the Philly game. Trevor Lawrence.
Uncle Rico. No, I think this is a game where the Rams need to win, and I think this is the week where Sean McVay is going to find his offense. Again, if we're going to talk fantasy football, if Van Jefferson's available, I like Van Jefferson in this game. With reports that I know Odell's going to play, but how healthy he's going to be. I think that the long ball is gonna find its way, in this game, and I just think they're just going to win uncontrollably. So yeah, I like the Rams, and I think they'll cover.
Yes.
All right, and let's talk about the Monday night action, which I know Kendall's closely going to pay attention to. New England Patriots visiting the Buffalo Bills. Right now, the Bills are 3-point favorites. The under-over keeps sliding down, so right now it's at 41, and the reason for that is that it's expected to be horrible weather in Buffalo tomorrow night.
This is the game of the weekend, game of the year for the Patriots. One of our biggest games. Patriots have won 6 straight. Buffalo coming off an impressive win against the Saints. They've had a few extra days to prepare, but it's a Monday night game. The weather's gonna be bad. So snowy. There'll probably some wind. It'll be some wind gusts probably for them.
So it is gonna be. It's 90% chance that it's gonna rain.
Oof.
Yeah. So the run game is really gonna be a factor in this game. Passing game not so much, but who running game are you gonna take? You're gonna take Stevenson to Harris, or you going with Singletary and Buffalo? And they got Matt Breida too. So I think Matt Jones will make a few passes. The passing game, it'll get going a little bit. Look out for Jacoby Myers getting a touchdown. I'm going with my Patriots 23-20. It's going to be a close game.
So
24-20.
I agree with you.
So, it's expected to snow in Buffalo today, and then tomorrow, rain pretty much all day.
Yeah.
So I agree with Kendall's take. Bill's the ultimate strategist, and you look at the Buffalo Bills for some strange reason they're not very good at stopping. They're supposed to be fourth in stopping the run, but we've seen Jonathan Taylor have a big week against them. We've seen Derrick Henry have a big week. Derrick Henry still, but they've been susceptible of letting up big run games. And I think that Bill, being the strategist he is, he's going to want to keep the ball on the ground.
Let's not forget Tre'Davious White out.
Yep, and Tre'Davious White is out. So you might see some play action. Him, I think Bill, being the strategist that he is, this is a Bill Belichick type of game, a sloppy, ugly type of game. So I do see a Patriots pulling out the victory, by 3. Low scoring. I think it's going to be low scoring, just because of the elements. About I'm maybe like 2017, something like that. 2016, something like that.
I like the under in this game.
Very under.
I want to see New England, but I just don't know. Buffalo's doing this game too. I'll take the under. Screw it. I'll take the Pats with the points. 3 points. And then we do have some breaking COVID news. Running back Jalen Richard has been placed on the reserve COVID-19 list, and he will not play today for the Raiders.
Ooh, oh snap.
That's a big loss. Third down back. All right. Do you guys have any bold predictions for today?
My bold predictions: the Steelers will upset the Baltimore Ravens. It's a big game for Pittsburgh. They're going to rally behind Ben. This is last year. They got embarrassed last week, as I said earlier. I'm going, and the Baltimore have not looked good the past few weeks. I'm going the Steelers upset the Ravens.
I think Uncle Rico is going to become the new starter for the Eagles because, being a Philadelphia native myself, I understand that Philly is very gun shy, or not gun shy, but trigger happy when it comes to benching quarterbacks. Like if they don't like you and you give them a reason to not like you, they will bench you. And I think that they've been looking for a reason to bench Jalen Hurts. And if Uncle Rico gives them the slightest bit of a reason to play well, even if it's the Jets, they're going to look at it as a Super Bowl win, and they're going to bench Jalen. And I think that you want to see what you have in him, going forward. I think they kind of pretty much know what they have in Jalen. They don't know too much about, Garner yet. Minshew Mania was a whole entire thing in Jacksonville. It could be a whole entire thing in Philly. So I think after a successful performance today, I think that they're going to want to see more of him as the weeks progress. And I think that he'll be the new starter for the Eagles this year. And I don't think we'll see Jalen Hurts the rest of the year.
Give me Denver over Kansas City today in a close one. And Denver would be in first place if they were to win. All right, lock to win.
Rams over Jags.
That's not bold.
That's my lock to win.
Oh, that's your lock? Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to. Well, give me the Cardinals over the Bears. That's my lock then.
And we got some more breaking news. So the Bengals will be down 2 starting offensive linemen today as center Trey Hopkins' ankle and right tackle Riley Reef ankle are both inactive versus the Chargers. So that's big.
Let me ask you something about the Jalen Richard thing with COVID. How does that work? So does that mean was was all the running backs close contact with him? So will they not play?
They have to check to see they do that contract or that tracing deal.
Okay.
Who he's been around, and they'll test him for the game. I'm assuming maybe twice. It is a 1 o'clock kickoff Pacific Standard Time, so that's the way it would work. But I mean, as far as the reports that I'm seeing, it's just him, so nobody else. But not to say that nobody else will have it and won't be out next week against Kansas City. Damn. I mean, look, Josh Jacobs was questioned to begin with. I believe it was an ankle injury.
Yeah, it was ankle. Yeah.
So, All right. My lock to win. Give me the Rams over the Jaguars. All right. Any final thoughts before we end today's stream?
No final thoughts. Thanks everybody for joining us.
No, sir.
All right. Well, thank you everyone out there for watching. Enjoy the game. Stay safe. Talk to you guys next week.
Yes, sir.